All right, here we go. The title of this video is Can you guess how many boxing shows Al Heyman and Premier Boxing Champions had in the year 2019? Now remember, the COVID pandemic happened in late February or early March of 2020. So, and correct me if I'm wrong here. Did Al Heyman start PBC in 2015 or 2016? So either in 5 years or in 4 years, Al Heyman was able to put this together. Now now, like I mentioned in previous videos, I'm trying to learn how to screen share. So I'm gonna screen share here, and then I'm gonna click on here so that we can go into my. See, that's not working. Oh, there it is. Okay, here we go. Here you have it. In 2019, this is from my archive. This is my thing that I like to do. I like data entry, and I've kind of fumbled my videos with the RGBA record, the last two videos, but that's okay. We're trying to learn how to use this technology, and here we go. Check this out. PBC 2019, the first show of the year, January 13th in LA, Uzcategui versus Caleb Plant. Now that's line item number 2. This thing goes all the way down past line item 36. Now I'm just gonna tell you how many shows they did. They did 37 shows. Might be 38. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. Either way. The second show of the year, 4 days later in Las Vegas, non-televised, Richardson Hitchens in the MGM Grand. There's out of all these shows, there's only 2 that were not televised. If you scroll all the way down to October 4th, Darwin Price, non-televised in Houston. All the rest of the shows were either on USA Fox, USA Showtime. That's it. Those are the 2 options that they had back then. USA Fox and USA Showtime. Now, when he started in 2015 or 2016, he had a couple other outlets he was working with, but 4 years or 5 years later, this is what he's working with. January 19th, Pacquiao versus Broner. Broner went on to tell us in a video, and forgive me for not knowing who was doing the interview. I might remember as I'm speaking doing this video, but Broner refused to tell the interviewer how much he made during that fight. And his response was, if I tell you the truth, Al Heyman will kill me. Now, what's going on right now with Dana White and trying to make changes to the Ali Act, it's that same exact thing. Not having to disclose fight purses to the events that you have. So this was already happening in 2019. You know, Al Heyman was able to circumvent the Muhammad Ali Act by creating this role that he's an advisor. Now, I'm not against Al Heyman, but I also can't go after Dana White for what he's doing if I'm not going to go after Al Heyman either. So here we go. Let's keep going down the list. January 26th, Thurman versus Josecito Lopez. Keith Thurman versus Josecito Lopez in New York. That was Tom Brown is the promoter. And let's keep going. In February, he had 4 cards. Ronald Ellis. It looks like it was Tank Davis versus Ruiz. Leo Santa Cruz fought on the 16th. Anthony Durrell fought on the 23rd. In March, Lara fought in March 9th. Sean Porter versus Ugas. And then in one of the biggest fights of the year, at this point, nobody wanted to fight Spence. And who stepped up to the plate? Featherweight Mikey Garcia. March 16th in Arlington, Texas. In that same month, Peter Lipinets. In April, we got Xavier Martinez in Las Vegas, in Sam's Town. In that same month of April, Derevianchenko, Danny Garcia fought on 420. 427, Robert Easter fought Barthélemy in Las Vegas on Showtime at the Cosmopolitan. In May, Jarrett Hurd fought J-Rock in Fairfax, Virginia. Wilder versus Brazil in May in New York. 7 days later, Austin Trout fought in Biloxi, Mississippi. And then in June, we had Devin Alexander versus Redcatch. You had Mel Charlo versus Corta. You had Ma Charlo. I don't know why I don't have his opponent. In April, we had Charles Martin and Carlos Balderas in Minneapolis, in Minnesota, at the Armory. Probably the second biggest show, or one of the biggest, Pacquiao versus Thurman in Las Vegas. And on that show, 7 Al Haymon advised fighters were on the card. So I have some notes over here about how many fighters were on the card, because right now everybody's making a big deal about Dana White having 200 fighters and blah 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 blah. Right? Oscar De La Hoya is talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. But this is 2019, and I'll keep going. Tank versus Nunez. Marcus Brown, Brandon Figueroa, Lara versus Canelo's brother, Ramon Alvarez, Quinlan versus Angulo, Spence versus Porter, Darwin Price, Robert Easter versus Granados in Pennsylvania, Rollies versus Xavier Martinez, or maybe Rollies versus somebody else that was not Xavier Martinez, Fortuna Cuellar, Wilder Ortiz, and forgive me for not knowing, for skipping the last 2 lines, but there's a couple more fights down there. There might be one more fighter or a couple more fights, but 37 or 38 boxing events in 1 year by premier boxing champions. He had a deal with Fox, and he had a deal with Showtime. He had already lost. At this time, he had already stopped doing business with CBS and some other smaller networks. If in my notes, I think I had it further down. If he has 38, I think I started using round numbers. If you have 40 shows and you have 5 fighters on each show, that's 200 slots for fighters. If you have 40 shows and you have 10 slots per show, then that gives you 400 slots for fighters. How many slots does Dana White start with? How many slots does Dana White need for his supposedly 200 fighters? Remember, it took Al Haymon 3 to 4 years, maybe possibly even 5 years to get to this level. I wish I'd have the number for 2018. Maybe I do. Maybe I'd have to go back and look at my archive. But, you know, a lot of journalists, a lot of media, a lot of fans, we are very concerned about what's going on with the Muhammad Ali Act. We are very concerned about what Dana White has been saying, that he wants to take over boxing with Zuffa. His first card is scheduled for January. 2 of Robert's fighters are going to be on there. I don't want to make this video too much longer. I'm gonna stay on here for about another minute. But this is some of the gems that I have in my database. Most of you know, or those I wouldn't say most of you know. I keep track of one of the busiest trainers in all of boxing, Robert Garcia, out of Riverside, now out of Moreno Valley. And this is something that I was keeping track of as well. And 40 shows in 1 year, 2019, Premier Boxing Champions. He kept all of his fighters busy. Most of these fighters fought more than, not too many fighters fought twice. Thurman fought Josecito in January, and then it looks like he fought again in July. He fought Pacquiao in July, and he fought Josecito in January. I see Leo Santa Cruz on here a couple times. I see Porter on here a couple times. So most of his guys, I wouldn't say most. I'd say his most important fighters fought twice. Um, but tell me what you think. Leave me a comment. Tell me what's the difference between what Al Heyman was doing in 2019 and what Dana White wants to do today. Because Broner is on an interview saying, if I tell you exactly what I earned for the fight, Al Heyman will kill me, will unalive me. Tell me, write me in the comments. 40 shows PBC did, Premier Boxing Champions in 2019. 40 shows, anywhere between 200 to 400 slots. What's the difference between what Al Heyman was doing in 2019 to what Dana White wants to do in 2026? Let me know.